Welcome to Truth Report, the show that digs deep beneath the headlines to uncover the hidden truths shaping our world. I'm Alex Truth.
And I'm Maya Clarity. Tonight, we're peeling back the layers of the global energy landscape, a system in flux, constantly adapting, and often, struggling with its own contradictions.
From the roaring engines of legacy manufacturers embracing Electrek, to the quiet hum of scientific breakthroughs promising the next generation of energy efficiency, the narrative is complex.
We'll examine the urban congestion that chokes our cities, the geopolitical tightropes walked by energy giants, and the foundational research that, while unseen, powers our future.
Join us as we connect the dots between seemingly disparate events, exposing the profound implications for our climate, our economies, and our daily lives. This is Truth Report. Our first story takes us to the heart of a significant shift in the automotive industry, specifically in the two-wheeler segment. Royal Enfield, a brand synonymous with classic, internal combustion engine motorcycles, is making a pivotal move.
That's right, Alex. According to a report by Electrek, Royal Enfield CEO, B. Govindarajan, has confirmed a clear timeline for the launch of their first electric motorcycle, the Flying Flea C6. This isn't just a rumor, it's a solid commitment.
Govindarajan stated during a recent earnings call that the Flying Flea C6 is almost ready for production and that we should expect to see it in the next quarter time window. This points to a launch set for early 2026, a critical moment for the legacy brand.
For a company with over a century of heritage built on petrol engines, this is more than just a new product, it's a strategic pivot. It signals their intent to not just survive but thrive in an increasingly electrified future, especially in key markets like India.
Indeed, Maya. India is the world's largest two-wheeler market, and while electric two-wheelers are gaining traction, they still represent a fraction of total sales. Royal Enfield's entry could catalyze wider adoption and competition.
This move isn't just about consumer choice, it reflects immense pressure from evolving emissions regulations and the global push towards decarbonization. Companies ignoring the EV trend risk becoming obsolete. Royal Enfield is clearly hedging its bets.
But let's look at who truly benefits here. While Royal Enfield gains a foothold in a new market, the real winners could be the Indian consumer, offered more choices for sustainable commuting, and the broader Indian manufacturing sector, attracting more investment in EV components.
However, it also raises questions about the pace of transition. While a step forward, a single electric model from a major player won't immediately dismantle the vast infrastructure supporting petrol bikes. The existing ecosystem of mechanics, spare parts, and fuel stations still caters overwhelmingly to ICE vehicles.
And that's where the power structures come into play. Governments, particularly in India, have been offering incentives for EV manufacturing and purchase. These policies directly influence corporate decisions like Royal Enfield's, steering market direction with taxpayer money.
It's a delicate dance between corporate strategy, consumer demand, and government mandates. But the underlying truth is clear: the energy transition is forcing even the most traditional players to adapt or face an uncertain future. This flying flea might be small, but its implications are massive for the energy sector. Moving from the future of mobility to a stark reality of our present, we turn to Hong Kong. The South China Morning Post reported heavy traffic gridlock in central Hong Kong on the final day of the Lunar New Year fair.
This wasn't just typical rush hour, Maya. The report describes parts of Hong Kong Island as heavily congested, with crowds thronging the flower market at Victoria Park. Commuters were stranded, and public transport came to a standstill for hours.
The images are striking: buses and trams stuck bumper to bumper in Causeway Bay, drivers blaring horns in frustration. A SCMP reporter spent hours documenting the paralysis. This highlights the severe inefficiencies embedded in our urban transport systems.
And let's be clear, this isn't merely an inconvenience. Every idling vehicle, every hour of standstill traffic, translates to massive amounts of wasted fossil fuel. This event in Hong Kong is a perfect, albeit painful, illustration of the hidden energy costs of inadequate urban planning.
Exactly. Hong Kong prides itself on its hyper-efficient public transport, yet an event like the Lunar New Year fair can bring it to its knees. This exposes a lack of resilient infrastructure and foresight in managing predictable peak demand, leading to excessive energy expenditure.
The environmental toll is immediate and severe: increased carbon emissions, heightened local air pollution, and the release of other harmful particulates directly impacting public health in densely populated areas. It's a clear failure in sustainable urban mobility.
So, who benefits from this gridlock? Frankly, very few. Retailers near the fair might see a temporary boost, but the economic losses from lost productivity, delayed deliveries, and stressed commuters far outweigh any gains. This is a net negative for the city.
The losers are obvious: the frustrated commuters, the public transport operators facing operational nightmares, and of course, the environment. This situation underscores a failure to prioritize sustainable, low-carbon mobility solutions, even in a city with a robust public transit system.
This isn't just about bad traffic, it's about the broader power structures failing to integrate energy efficiency into urban design. The city's planners and transport authorities seem to lack the agility to manage predictable surges without resorting to carbon-intensive standstills.
It's a stark reminder that simply having public transport isn't enough, it must be intelligently integrated and dynamically managed. The reliance on individual vehicle movement, even in small numbers amidst a crowd, can cripple an entire system, exacerbating our energy problem, not solving it. From urban gridlock, we pivot to national energy strategy, specifically in China, the world's largest energy consumer. The South China Morning Post reports on Inner Mongolia, a region critical to China's energy mix, embarking on a new, highly significant project.
That's right, Alex. Inner Mongolia is set to start work this year on 2 new flexible power plants. What makes these noteworthy is their intended design, a hybrid system mixing coal and green energy, a strategic shift that reveals much about China's energy future.
These plants aren't just local projects, they're designed to provide power to China's eastern economic hubs, including Shanghai and Jiangsu province. This underscores their importance to the national grid and economic stability.
The critical aspect, as detailed by the SCMP, is the shift in coal's role. It will no longer be the primary energy source. Instead, coal will be used to plug gaps in power generated by intermittent wind and solar energy. This is a pragmatic, if controversial, approach.
This strategy acknowledges the inherent intermittency of renewables. When the wind doesn't blow or the sun doesn't shine, these flexible coal-based plants will step in, ensuring grid stability. Inner Mongolia, being home to roughly a quarter of China's coal reserves, has the resources for this model.
It's a complex balancing act. On one hand, China is aggressively investing in renewables, leading the world in solar and wind capacity. On the other, energy security for its massive industrial base means it can't afford a complete, immediate divorce from fossil fuels.
The implications are profound. While environmental advocates might decry continued coal use, this flexible approach could arguably lead to less overall coal consumption than if China relied solely on traditional coal plants for baseload power. It's a calculated compromise.
So, who benefits? China's central government certainly gains greater grid stability and energy security, fueling its economic growth. Inner Mongolia benefits from continued investment and relevance for its vast coal resources, ensuring regional employment.
And the major industrial centers like Shanghai and Jiangsu secure a reliable, albeit still carbon-intensive, power supply. The world, too, might benefit if this strategy allows China to scale up renewables faster by providing a reliable backup, thus reducing overall emissions trajectory.
But the losers are clear, those pushing for an immediate, absolute phase-out of all fossil fuels. This strategy prolongs coal's life, even if in a diminished capacity, and comes with ongoing local pollution and carbon emissions. It's a stark reminder of the difficult choices in energy transition.
This strategy is a direct reflection of China's unique power structures, a top-down, centrally planned economy that can deploy massive resources to achieve energy security while simultaneously pursuing ambitious green targets. It's a stark contrast to Western approaches, highlighting a different path to energy transition.
Now, let's delve into the foundational science that often goes unnoticed but underpins our entire energy infrastructure. Our next story comes from the scientific preprint server AR14, detailing a crucial piece of research in fluid dynamics.
This paper, posted on February 12, 2026, describes a new model for immiscible two-layer gas-liquid stratified flows in pipes with general cross-sections. While highly technical, its implications for energy transport are significant.
The researchers have derived a model that accurately describes how a liquid phase, like crude oil or water, flows beneath a compressible gas layer, like natural gas, within complex pipe geometries. This isn't just theoretical, it's about the real-world physics of pipelines.
To break it down, the model accounts for the liquid layer based on hydrostatic pressure and a shallow water approximation, while the gas layer follows an ideal gas law, conserving mass, momentum, and energy. These two subsystems are meticulously linked.
This kind of research is critical for industries that transport vast quantities of fluids, particularly in the energy sector. Think about oil and gas pipelines, where two-phase flow, liquid and gas moving together, is a common and often problematic phenomenon.
Understanding and accurately modeling these flows can prevent issues like slugging, where pockets of liquid and gas alternate, causing vibrations, pressure fluctuations, and even damage to pipelines. This means improved safety and efficiency.
Moreover, as we transition to new energy carriers, this research becomes even more vital. Consider the nascent hydrogen economy, where liquid hydrogen and its gaseous phase might be transported, or the growing carbon capture and storage (CCS) industry, moving supercritical CO2.
Who benefits directly? Engineers, pipeline operators, and energy companies. By better predicting and managing multi-phase flows, they can optimize pipeline design, reduce operational costs, extend infrastructure lifespan, and most importantly, enhance safety, minimizing environmental risks from leaks or ruptures.
Indirectly, consumers also benefit from a more reliable and efficient energy supply chain, potentially leading to lower costs and fewer disruptions. This is the unseen, fundamental work that makes the visible energy world function.
The power structure here isn't corporate malfeasance but rather the critical need for continued investment in fundamental academic research. Governments and industry must recognize that breakthroughs like this, though not immediately commercial, form the bedrock of future energy security and innovation. It's about investing in the very physics of how we move energy. Our final story tonight takes us even deeper into the realm of fundamental science, another AR14 publication from February 12, 2026. This one explores the intricate behavior of atoms at a microscopic level, with surprising connections to future energy technologies.
This paper details comprehensive determinations of diffusion coefficients for trace amounts of naturally abundant rubidium atoms in various inert buffer gases like helium, neon, argon, and xenon. It's highly specialized physics, but the implications can be far-reaching.
The researchers used a single, sophisticated measurement technique involving optically pumped population gratings created by intersecting laser beams. This precision allows for incredibly accurate data on how these atoms mix and move.
Diffusion coefficients are foundational metrics that govern how gases interact, how they mix, and how quickly they spread. Understanding these precise interactions is critical for developing new materials and technologies, including those related to energy.
While rubidium isn't directly an energy source, its properties are utilized in numerous advanced technologies. For example, highly stable atomic clocks, which rely on precise atomic behavior, are crucial for synchronizing modern power grids and communication networks.
Absolutely. Furthermore, this type of fundamental understanding informs the development of advanced sensors. Imagine more sensitive leak detection in pipelines, or improved monitoring of combustion processes in power plants, leading to greater efficiency and safety.
Looking further ahead, this research underpins nascent quantum technologies. Quantum computing and quantum sensing promise ultra-efficient calculations and entirely new ways to manage energy systems, all built upon precise control of atomic interactions, where diffusion plays a critical role.
So, who benefits from this incredibly niche, cutting-edge research? Primarily, it's the scientific community, paving the way for further discoveries. But the downstream beneficiaries are engineers developing next-generation energy storage, fusion energy concepts, or advanced materials for more efficient energy conversion.
There are no immediate losers in fundamental research of this kind, only potential future gains. However, the risk lies in underfunding such esoteric but vital work. If the financial support for pure science wanes, the wellspring of future innovation can dry up.
This highlights the power structure of scientific funding. Governments and philanthropic organizations, often through grants, are the primary drivers here. Their decisions today about what research to back will directly influence the breakthroughs that redefine our energy future decades from now. It's an investment in the unknown, but an essential one.
Maya, looking across these 5 stories, we see a global energy landscape that is incredibly dynamic and full of contradictions. From the very visible shift to electric vehicles to the hidden complexities of fundamental physics.
Absolutely, Alex. The Royal Enfield story shows the commercial imperative for legacy industries to adapt, driven by consumer demand and regulatory pressure, highlighting the uneven but undeniable march towards electrification. It's a market-driven transition, but not a simple one.
And the Hong Kong traffic gridlock serves as a stark reminder that even as we innovate with new energy tech, the inefficiencies of our existing infrastructure and urban planning choices continue to exact a heavy toll, both economically and environmentally. This is a failure of systemic energy management.
Then we have China's Inner Mongolia project, a pragmatic, yet controversial, approach to energy transition. It reveals how a nation with immense energy demands balances green goals with the immediate need for grid stability, often through a compromise that continues to lean on fossil fuels, albeit in a flexible capacity.
It's a powerful illustration of the realpolitik of energy. No nation, especially one of China's scale, can simply flip a switch to green energy overnight. These flexible coal plants expose the compromises made when national energy security and economic growth clash with ambitious environmental targets.
And underpinning all of this are the AR14 research papers. The models for two-layer flows in pipes and the diffusion coefficients for rubidium atoms demonstrate that every visible energy solution, from pipelines to quantum tech, rests on decades of often obscure, fundamental scientific inquiry.
These scientific papers, while not making daily headlines, are the silent building blocks. They underscore that true energy transition isn't just about what we see in showrooms or on power grids, but about the relentless, painstaking work in labs, perfecting the very physics of how energy is generated, moved, and consumed.
What we see is a world grappling with urgent climate deadlines, while simultaneously navigating complex economic realities and the slow, deliberate pace of scientific discovery. The patterns are clear: innovation, compromise, inefficiency, and the indispensable foundation of basic research.
The truth is, the global energy transition is not a smooth, linear path. It's a messy, multi-layered process, driven by diverse forces, often contradictory, but all pointing towards a future that must fundamentally redefine our relationship with energy. We've explored the visible and invisible forces shaping our energy future. From motorcycles humming quietly on electric power to the deep scientific models ensuring the safe flow of resources, the narrative is constantly evolving.
It's a future where every choice, from government policy on power grids to individual consumer decisions on vehicles, has profound implications. The cost of energy isn't just financial, it's environmental, social, and deeply intertwined with our global stability.
We urge you to look beyond the headlines, to question the compromises, and to appreciate the fundamental work that makes our modern world possible. Demand transparency, accountability, and genuine progress from those in power.
Because understanding these truths is the first step towards shaping a more sustainable and equitable energy future for everyone. Join us next time on Truth Report, as we continue to shine a light on the stories that matter most.